So we fucked up. I don't usually like to swear, but we fucked up when we moved to France. And I don't want you guys to make the same mistake. So watch this video. Because hopefully I can save somebody out there some of the headache that we're going through right now. Because, yeah, we didn't know what we were doing when we decided to go move our family to France, to the south of France. For a year. We started this process a little over a year ago, and we went for a visa. And when we were introduced, like when we were talking to people about the visa choices, this 1 year tourist visa came up. But we were never told, and we worked with a company called VFS Global, which I've mentioned before. They're like, you can do this stuff yourself, but if you want somebody to help you do the paperwork, they'll fill it out. But what they didn't give us was the kind of advice we really needed. That's why I don't recommend them, because I they don't give you consultative advice. But we didn't know that until we worked with them. But they got it done. The problem is there was a one checkbox on the form that we filled out has, as we found out now, pretty much screwed us over. And that checkbox was this one. So this is, I'm just doing it on the screen. I'm going to show you it. This is like basically the PDF that we filled out. And it's somewhere on the second or third page. It's for us, it was question 27. Intended duration of stay on the territory should be in the territory of France. And the choices are between 3 and 6 months, 6 months to 1 year, more than 1 year. Simple enough, right? Well, we knew we were going to go for a year minimum initially with the option to continue, but we weren't sure if we would continue. So I was very honest and I said, well, 6 months to a year is good. And then we'll just, hopefully be able to continue. Now, somebody at some point had said something that tourist visas could be extended. Even these like 1 year tourist visas could be extended if you wanted to. So for me, and I probably even heard it on TikTok, and that is true, but not for a particular type of tourist visa. There are two, at least two, and they have the following names. So the first one is called the VLST, and the second one is called the VLSTS. Well, when you file this, as I understand it now, from what I've understood since recently, as I've been forced to figure this out, because we want to stay, as you probably figured out if you follow this channel, like we're all in. Like my daughter's going to school, we love it, blah blah blah. Anyway, you probably figured that out. But we thought we would just like, oh, hey, we're gonna go ahead and extend this or get a different visa, because we're actually looking at 3 different types of visas. But the problem is that what we found out to our horror, is that we were assigned, because of that checkbox and not saying more than 1 year, they chose to make it a VLST versus a VLSTS. Now, what does that mean? The VLST is like the easy mode visa for a tourist. What it is essentially, I'll boil it down for you. It's France saying, come on over. It's going to be super easy for you. Spend your money in France and then bye-bye at the end. Basically, no option to extend the visa, no option to do anything other. You just need to leave at the end of the visa. And that is very different than what we were told, which is that we could extend the visa. Well, that's the VLSTS. When you get that visa, normally when you get a visa, many visa types in France, you have to present yourself to the prefecture. You have to validate your visa upon arrival, etc. Well, we didn't do that. And then I started hearing about that and I started getting nervous. But then we looked up and found out that our VLST visa is like the easy mode extended tourist stay visa, which we were like, oh, that's great. We don't need to present ourselves to the prefecture and we don't have to validate our visa. How cool. What a great visa. Until we found out, the downside of it, the very big downside of it, is you can't extend the visa. Oh yeah, and what's more, that visa stay, this year that we're on, doesn't count towards a future residence, like towards your residency in France. If you ever wanted to, for example, establish residency for 5 years to get your citizenship, this year doesn't count. Anyway, that's where we are now. And I'm freaking out. I'm going to talk to an attorney. I've talked to 2 attorneys already. One didn't really know much more than me. I talked to another attorney who comes highly recommended by 2 other Americans in France, content creators. One is Amanda Rollins. She's even done videos with this guy, Daniel Tostada. And then Molly, who also is another content creator on here. She's awesome. They both recommended him. And so we're talking to one of his associates on Monday, and I'm just praying that they seem to know more than the other person who shall remain nameless. But Yeah, I'm just hoping they can come up with a solution for us, or that there is a solution, because we don't want to give up our apartment. We don't want to leave and go back. We don't even have a place to be, and we just don't want to interrupt. I mean, my daughter's in school. That would be in April 1st of 2025, which would be 2 months before the end of her school year. So on so many levels, and I feel stupid, but I mean, it's really hard in the beginning when you don't know jack shit and you're just trying to figure this stuff out. And, you get different answers from different people, people on TikTok, people, attorneys, registration bureaus like the one we worked with and all this stuff. Everybody's got a different story, or what you find out on Google or ChatGPT or whatever. So, yeah, we fell into a dark hole we didn't know existed. And so, pray for us that we can get through that and there's a solution for it. I'll definitely keep you guys updated. I'll make an updated video Monday or Tuesday after I have that meeting. But I have kind of knot in my stomach right now, just because everything I keep reading just says the same thing over again with the VLST, which is not extendable, have to leave, this and that and the other thing. And then at some point, I will talk to you guys in a different video about the 3 visa types that we're considering, because we are looking for long term. But please, I know many of you have messaged me and said, hey, we're inspired and we're going to do this because of you, and that's great. Please make sure that you click that more than 1 year box, even if you don't think it's going to be more than a year. And yes, even if you have to present yourself to the prefecture and validate your visa, it's not a big deal. Trust me. I would have been happy to do that with the option to be able to extend the visa. But anyway, so there you have it. Don't make the mistake we made.